Alright, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be giving my MLB DraftKings picks for Thursday, August 17th. Since it is a Thursday, like most Thursdays, have a small slate today, only a 5-game slate. So our options are really limited today. But just looking at this slate, I think pitching on this slate is pretty straightforward. You have 4 options that really just stand out to me as being your clear-cut best plays. And then after that, just not really any guys that I'm really seeing. So I think pitching is pretty straightforward. Hitting, I think there are different ways you can go. There are some teams that I like that are cheap that let me get the expensive pitchers, because I think you're really going to have to pay up for pitcher today. There's just not any cheap options that I see that I really feel good about. So I think you're going to have to really pay up for pitcher today. And then there's definitely some value hitters that can fit in around those expensive pitchers. So that's the way that I'm going to be going on this slate. Looking at pitcher, the 4 options that I think just stand out to me: Severino, Nola, Taillon, and Jeff Samardzija. Your top 4 options, I think they're the clear cut. Like after Samardzija, I think you draw a line right there, and then under Samardzija, it's just options that you're really not going to feel good about. So I think you're really going to have to spend at your pitcher today. I don't think you're going to be able to get Severino and Nola in. I just think that's too much. But maybe if enough value does open up, then I could definitely see you going with that combo. Nola, he does seem a little bit overpriced at $12K, but the dude's been pitching really well this year, especially as of late. He's been really solid, so I guess you could justify that price the way he's pitched. But right now, when I'm having to choose between Severino or Nola, I'm leaning Severino today for 500 more. I just really like this matchup for Severino. He's going to be going to the National League, to the Met Stadium, a good pitcher's park. He's going to get out of Yankee Stadium, which is a pretty hitter-friendly park, going to the Mets Stadium, which does favor pitchers. And like I said, also going to the National League, so he's not going to have to face a DH. He will be able to face the opposing pitcher, which is always nice. Severino should definitely be able to strike them out. And I think Severino today is just by far your top option. If we just look at Vegas lines, the Mets have the lowest implied total on this slate. And Severino, I believe he's the heaviest favorite as well. He's a -187 favorite. And the Mets only have an implied run total of 3.2 runs right now as I'm recording this video, which is currently the lowest on this slate. So I think Severino's, he's just going to dominate here. The lineups that the Mets have been rolling out as of late, some of these lineups they've been rolling out have been really bad. If you just look at their projected lineup for tomorrow, it looks like a pretty bad lineup. I know they have some prospects like Rosario and Dominic Smith that are supposed to be really good, but I think they're really going to struggle against Severino. He has a ton of strikeout potential here. There are some strikeouts in this lineup. Wilmer, he'll strike out a lot against righties. Cespedes will strike out. Travis d'Arnaud will strike out. So there's definitely some K potential here for Severino. And I just think he's by far the top option. I would much rather play him over Nola if you're just choosing between the two. I think Severino easily outscores Nola. But on other sites, if there is like a really big difference in price, then maybe you could go Nola. But where Severino and Nola are about the same price, I definitely lean Severino. I think he's just going to have the better game here. He's just been really solid as of late. Aside from his last game against Boston, the dude's just been absolutely dominating this year. We know he has the upside. He has 10K potential anytime he steps on the mound. So I like Luis Severino today as my SP1. And then for SP2, I think it's clear-cut. You're either playing Taillon or Samardzija. Like I said, I don't think I'm going to be able to get to Nola as an SP2. I don't think there's enough value hitters to where you could fit 2 12K pitchers in. So leaning SP2, Taillon or Samardzija, that's the way I'm going to be going. And right now, I think Samardzija is by far the better option at 9,300, getting a matchup against the Phillies. This is a great spot for Shark. He's going to be pitching at home in San Francisco, which is probably the best pitcher's park in the game. Samardzija has really been showing his strikeout potential this year. This is obviously a great strikeout matchup going up against the Phillies. They are a team that will strike out a lot versus right-handed pitching. And the Phillies, I believe, right now as I'm recording this video, they have the second lowest total on the slate. They're implied to score 3.5 runs. Right now as I'm recording this video, the Giants only implied to score 3.6. So I'm expecting this game to be it's definitely going to be a pitcher's duel. I think you could definitely take both pitchers in this game. If you don't want to go Severino, you could go Nola and Samardzija. I do like that combo. I think this game's going to be really low scoring. It's going to be a battle between the pitchers. So I like Samardzija in this spot. Just 9,300 does seem a little bit expensive. He did get a big price increase from his last game against Washington. This is the most expensive we've seen him in a while. The last time he was 9K was about a month ago, so you are having to pay a little bit more than you would like for Samardzija. But the matchup, I think he's worth the price tag. A really good matchup against the Phillies. They'll strike out. and they're not a good offense either. In San Francisco, in that pitcher-friendly park, I like Jeff Samardzija today as my SP2 for 9,300. When we go with Severino and Samardzija as our two pitchers, we're only left with 3,500 remaining per player. So all three hitters I give today are going to be really cheap value plays. There is a cheap offense that I definitely think you can target today that actually has plenty of upside. So I like paying up for pitcher today, going with Severino and Samardzija. And then for my three hitters, the first guy that I like today is going to be at second base, and that's Wilmer Difo for just 3,500, getting a matchup against Julio Chacin. I really like Difo today, batting from his left side. Chacin is a guy that does struggle with lefties. He is actually really good against righties, so I doubt I would take any righties against Chacin. But the lefties is where he struggles. This year he's given up a 349 WOBA to lefties. Chacin will also give up home runs to lefties, a 1.54 home run per 9 to left-handed hitters. And the K rate to lefties is pretty low, below average, only 16%. And he's also walking lefties a ton, has 11, near 12% walk rate to lefties, which is great for Difo. Difo does have good speed. If he gets on base, he will steal. He's already stole 5 bases this year, so that's good for Difo. Chacin will walk lefties, and Difo will steal, so I like that. And Difo is also running a nice hot streak right now. If you look at his last 10 games, he's actually going on a 10-game hitting streak. 1-2, 2-1, 1-1, 2-1, 1-1. So in his last 10 games, he's got a hit in every game. So you know he's thinking about that hit streak. He's going to want to get a hit here. And he should definitely be able to do that against Chacin. Like I said, Chacin does struggle with lefties. Difo, switch hitter, batting from his left side today. So I do like Wilmer Difo, looking for some value. I'm at just 3,500 at second base. And then for my final two plays, going to be going to the outfield. Obviously, two value plays I like here. The first guy I like is Jose Perilla, just 3K, getting a matchup against Edwin Jackson. I do like Jose Perilla today, looking for some values to where we can fit in those two stud pitchers. Perilla is a guy that has flashed plenty of upside this year. He has had games with over 20 DraftKings points in multiple games. Actually, in his last 10, in Cincinnati, he had 24 and 30 DraftKings points. So this guy definitely has potential. He does have some power. He's had 8 home runs this year. He's also got some speed as well. He will steal bases. And Edwin Jackson is a guy that does struggle against righties. So far this year to righties, he's given up a 368 WOBA. And like I said, Perilla has power, and Jackson will give up a lot of home runs to righties. 2.2 home run per 9 to right-handed hitters this year. So I think Perilla's in a good spot here. He's insanely cheap at just 3K. Love that price tag that we're getting on him. He should be batting right in the top of that order. I believe he does bat like 3rd or 4th, which is great for a 3K hitter. He should be pretty much locked in for 4 at-bats. For just 3K, love that price tag. Love the value we're getting on him. So if you're looking for some value outfield to pair with your two expensive pitchers, I like Jose Perilla today for 3K. And then my final play, I'm going to be getting some exposure to the cheap offense that I really like today that you can pair with your two pitchers. That's Nicky Delmonico from the White Sox for just 2,500. Getting a matchup against Tyson Ross. I really like the White Sox today. If we're looking for some cheap bats to pair with our two expensive pitchers, this whole lineup, pretty much all their hitters are insanely cheap. The two most expensive guys in the projected lineup are Abreu and Garcia, and they're only 4K and 4.1K. But other than them, you just look through this lineup, there is so much value throughout this lineup. Garcia's projected to bat leadoff, he's only 3.7. Moncada, 3.5. Delmonico, he's projected to bat 5th, obviously 2.5. I like him. There's just a lot of value throughout this lineup that you can pair with your two pitchers. So I do like getting some exposure to this team. I definitely think they have a lot of upside here. Tyson Ross is a guy that will give up a lot of home runs. And playing in Texas, you know that ballpark really inflates home runs, especially when it's hot. And I do believe it's going to be hot in Texas tomorrow. Right now the temperature is set to 94 degrees, so the ball should be flying. So I think we can definitely pick on Tyson Ross today. He's just not a good pitcher. He's actually done pretty well against lefties this year, but I'm not buying into that. Over his career, he's actually struggled more against lefties than he has righties, so don't really buy into that. But to righties, a 414 WOBA this year, and Ross will give up home runs. So far this year to righties, a 1.53 home run per 9. And Ross is a guy that doesn't really strike people out. Only has a 14% K rate to righties and 19% to lefties, which is both of those are below average numbers. And he gives up a lot of hard contact to lefties and righties, nearly the same, 53% medium to lefties and 33% hard contact to lefties. Then to right-handers, 52% medium contact and 35% hard contact. So I really like the White Sox today, just looking for some cheap value. Another thing that Tyson Ross really struggles with is allowing steals. There is some speed throughout this lineup. Lurie Garcia in specific, I really like him. He has really good speed. He's stolen, I believe, 8 bases this year. And if he gets on base, I'm expecting him to be trying to steal. So I think there's plenty of upside in this White Sox lineup. You do have the power guys like Abreu and Garcia that could take Tyson Ross deep. And then Lurie Garcia, the speed guys, you want to target them as well. Because Tyson Ross, he'll allow a ton of stolen bases. He's not really good at holding runners on. So there's a ton of value throughout this lineup with a lot of upside. Nicky Delmonico is a guy that I like from that lineup. If you actually look through his last 10 games, the dude's been really solid. Hasn't had a single zero in his last 10 games. Has multiple games with over double digits. So the guy has been really producing as of late. And at just $2,500, love that value. When we pay up for pitcher, gonna need some value plays. So I do like Nicky Delmonico today for just $2,500 at the outfield. And yeah, guys, so these are my 5 plays for tonight. I went with Luis Severino, Jeff Samardzija, Wilmer Difo, Jose Pirela, and Nicky Delmonico. After we plug in those 5 guys, we're left with over $3,800 remaining per player, which can easily be worked around. Just look to get some more exposure to the White Sox. Maybe if you want to plug in a national lefty or two, I believe Adam Lynn was a guy I was going to look at for value. I do like him. And I do also like some of the Padres bats as well. I'm not really buying into Edwin Jackson, so I do like the Padres as well. So there is plenty of value today. You can definitely pay up for pitcher without a problem. So you also should easily be able to build a lineup around this 5. Or if you want to get my full lineup, then be sure to follow me on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT. My lineups are $5 a day, or you can get a week of lineups for $25. So message me on Twitter if you are interested in that. Or if you just have any questions about the slate, or you need to ask me something, you can contact me on Twitter as well at the DFS_GOAT. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like the video and subscribe if you enjoyed. If this is your first time on my channel, please be sure to subscribe. I do upload these videos pretty much every day, so I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe. And if you never want to miss out on any videos, if you scroll down to where the subscribe button is, there is a bell icon. If you click that little bell, that'll actually notify you every time I upload. So be sure to do that as well if you never want to miss out on any videos. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Good luck tonight, guys. Peace.